pledge. Please stand.
Heavenly Father, precious Father, I want to thank you for the blessings that you bestow upon us each and every day, Lord. The fact that you keep your holy hand upon us. We can't thank you enough for everything that you do. The fact that you sent Jesus to the cross to die for our sins is a gift that we can never repay, and we're certainly obligated to you to live a good Christian life on your behalf. We ask as we continue with this meeting, Lord, that you give those that are empowered the knowledge and understanding to make sound decisions, Lord, throughout the night. We also ask that you recognize those that have lost loved ones tonight. And we ask that you remember those that are in hospitals and help with their illnesses. As we continue with this meeting again, special request for knowledge and good judgment to the council members. These things we ask in your name, Lord. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Steve, call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer. Present. Mr. Bollinger.
Here.
Ms. Thompson.
Here.
Mr. Wilson. Here. Mayor Stanfield.
Here. Item number 4, approving the minutes for your January 2018 meeting. Council pleasure. Have a motion by Mr. Wilson, have a second.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 5, reports from your boards, committees, and departments. Council pleasure.
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Mr. Bollinger, have a second.
Second it.
Ms. Thompson, call the roll.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 6, comments from the citizens. Let me do this one right quick. Brian, you come up front, please. On January 30th, 2018, a 5-year-old boy called dispatch 911. His mom was having some medical issues breathing. And Brian, you go ahead and tell them what happened.
We received a call through 911. 5-year-old boy says his mother wasn't breathing. I fell into the ambulance on Tennessee here. Went to Mohawk. Young child was stayed on the phone, waving us in on the porch. He continued to stay on the phone with 911 until I was the first one in the house, and then the ambulance afterwards. Done an excellent job. Very proud of him. We brought him to the police department until his father would pick him up. And he really enjoyed it. The only bad thing he said, he wanted to be a firefighter. Other than that,
Tell him, I hope you love him. I'm still here. But we did a plaque here in his honor, and he's not here tonight. His parents couldn't make it. They all come down with the flu. But I'm gonna go ahead and read this because I already got it dated. It says, Certificate of Courage awarded to Ivan McGee Kestressis in recognition of his heroic actions, extraordinary bravery, and quick response on the day of January 30, 2018. At the age of 5 years old, with extreme calmness and patience in an emergency situation, Ivan sought appropriate authorities in getting help for his mother in a life-threatening saving moment. Therefore, on this day, February 6, 2018, I am honored to present the Certificate of Courage to Ivan. Sincerely, Mayor Michael R. Stanfield. And I also have a card, a thank you card, and I put some money in it for me to give to him. So this will be given to him at a later date. All right. Is there any more comments? Any comments from the public? Oh, Josh. Josh, you want to address council?
Yeah, we're here. I represent Campbell County Youth Football. We use the field over at the East Default location for our practice games. I've got several members of the program here with me tonight also. We're here over the issue of the house that was purchased by the city that was set aside to be used for us as a field house. My wife and I was eating dinner the other night and see on WLAF's website where it was to be voted on tonight to be tore down. you know, we had every intention on this spring of redoing the house to use as a field house for the youth football and cheerleaders. Right now, you know, that was, with having equipment and everything else, that is what we really need for our stuff. Having it in the basement of East La Follette, we can't keep any uniforms in the basement of it because we've dealt with mold on them. I lost almost a whole set of uniforms 2 years ago due to the mold. You know, that's something that we was really looking forward to. The program was looking forward to actually having our own field house to use, and to see this, you know, especially just see it on Facebook and have no idea that it was even being voted on, that anything was being brought up about it, anything was even about it. The last that I heard was we was still good to go on it, and now we're here with this issue. So, you know, I don't know where else to go with it, but.
Josh, let me interrupt just a minute. I was the mayor when the city council approved that money to start that little football field.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Joe remembers what was said, and man, as far as Mr. Wilson and Mr. Archer, they wasn't on it at the time. But, you know, that's what was discussed. That house has been in probate for years, and it finally come released to be sold at public auction, and we bid on it and got it. But, you know, we talked about council, let's council talk about the cafeteria in East Florida. We're gonna get it up running just like the one in West Florida. You know, so, to be honest with you, the stuff needs to come out of that room, but, you know,
Yeah.
if council decides to let you have it as a field house, you end up responsible, you know, for the building. We're not gonna put no money-
Absolutely. You know, we're prepared for it, that was their whole intention the whole time. You know, we're not asking anything else from the city on it. We was gonna do all the work to it ourselves, get it up and running ourselves. You know, that's something that we can use and we can take care of, and, you know, get it to where it needs to be.
Right. Well, you know, back when I was in street department, we had agreement with TVL in the field here at Linden Park, and they were good enough to let us use it, and we got some grants to rework the banks and stuff. But it was a mosquito haven.
Yeah.
You know, I had lights put down there and porta potties and stuff, but mosquitoes would eat up. These small kids, they never had a field, a football field to play in. We've got basketball, football, not football, basketball and baseball and soccer, but never a league football field.
And that's just like, you know, I'm also on the conference board over the program, and we have, out of all the programs that we have the nicest facility out of the conference, out of Lake City, Union County, Scott County, Clinton, South Clinton. A lot of these programs doesn't have anything they can call their own. They have to use other fields. We have something, you know, that is our own and the nicest facilities. You know, that's part of, you know, we take pride in that. This, you know, we have a great location, a great field, so.
I looked at it, and, you know, you probably couldn't park over 7 or 8 cars in there.
Yeah.
There's park more than that to be backing into everybody. And Miss Collins, she lived there as long as I can remember. Charles Collins was with her. And, you know, we don't want to put any inconvenience on her. At her age, you don't need any inconvenience, you know.
Yeah.
And like I told council in the workshop, if they decide to tear their house down and make a parking lot, we have to put the price of it up. So I don't want lights shining her house every time she moves, you know, so. But as far as my council, I can't speak for myself, but I know what was said.
Yeah. I was here for that meeting also.
Well, my son-in-law was involved in it at the time, and so was Skeeter Huckabee.
Skeeter, Stephen Phillips.
That's Stevie.
Yep.
I think all their kids have moved on up to
Yeah.
different schools.
You know, that's like, I've got a 2-year-old that's gonna be coming through the program, so, you know, that's 12 more years of it for me, so.
And my granddaughter, she played over, I think last year, Bella.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else have any more comments about that?
I have a question to ask you. When you say field house, what is your projections for the that house to,
What we would like to do is have a place that we can keep our equipment. You know, with paint for the field, our tackling dummies, our helmets, shoulder pads, uniforms.
more or less you want it for equipment,
Yes,
not a field house. When I think of field house, I think of lifting weights and stuff that
no.
worked out.
With the youth, with the ages that we have, lifting weights isn't an option right now.
I know it.
You know, they can't do that until they're farther on, you know.
I know that.
We're, you know, this is simply, we're wanting it for a place for our equipment, our, you know, to keep everything. That way everything's together. That way we don't have some stuff in the basement, some stuff in the trailer, some stuff in.
I understand that problem with that. I've been through the first Little League football program that's ever started.
Yeah. Well, you know what we're saying. It's nice to have,
Somebody
it'd be
just
nice
keep
to
up
have one
Little League
location.
baseball equipment too.
Yeah.
But, is there talk of it, an office or anything in it? Just storing equipment?
In the center of it, we would have a place where we can keep our files. I mean, there's one bedroom right there in the center that I could put a filing cabinet to keep all of our stuff. That's just like with the conference. They can show up at any time and I have to provide all of our birth certificates, all of our sign-up sheets, everything for the kids. And, you know, right now, I have to keep it at my house. So if they showed up.
Done that also with Little
Yeah.
League baseball.
So with that, I would have to leave from the field, go to my house, get everything, go back, supply everything. And, you know, with that, I could walk straight up there and we would have it.
You can secure it enough that you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
You'd probably have to put cameras or something up.
we could do that. And
So is electricity to be provided for that house?
It's stripped out and the plumbing's stripped out. I went and looked at it today,
So
total mess.
Johnny,
are
we
you
know
all
maybe
prepared to
it's good.
put electricity in it?
we are, that, you know, we, as a group, we've talked about it, and this is something that we was prepared to do, you know, beforehand. The plumbing, I'm not saying that the plumbing was stripped out. I mean, in the basement of it, it was all there the last time I'd been in there and looked at it.
It was copper, it all got stuff. I went and looked at both places. and Johnny's gonna clean up that diesel fire place here in the near future. And from what I'm hearing, we need more parking over there because everybody is blocking the road, the main road, because so many people want to watch football.
There's areas around there to be made parking. The area across from the concession stand, the area there, that could be made as parking. On the backside of the press box could be parking. I mean, you're gonna get maybe 6 or 7 vehicles in that parking lot up there. If you tear the house down, you're gonna get 6, 7, 8 vehicles in it.
It's more than that.
Well,
They've cut everything out of it.
oh, I know. We pushed all the dirt up, been pushed up.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it, Johnny?
Well, first off, I need to apologize to Josh because I missed the meeting last week. My mother passed away. There would have been more discussions on as far as what we want to do with it. The big problem is the cost of getting it up and running. And are you wanting to use it for like bring your team in at halftime before the game?
They would come up there to it, yes.
Okay. But Jimmy and I were talking about it, and I've been here at the meeting last week, that we have the cafeteria downstairs at East Pollock, that it's up to council, that can be used to utilize your equipment, plus you'd be able to take your teams.
They don't want to cross the road with them and go downstairs.
You are, but, I mean, that's something they have to work out to where the road
We
has to
have-
be blocked or something.
We have 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes for half. We
It's
wouldn't
just-
have time.
It's just a thought. I mean, yes, you need a place for your stuff, but, you know, there needs to be more parking there too. I think we're utilizing the vacant lot right now as parking. It just ain't gravel. and
It's
paved.
not gravel or paved, and a lot of
Right.
people won't park in it.
Right, so, I mean, if you all got the money to fix it up, then, I mean, I don't have the money unless you all appropriate it in my budget to do it. It's, and you would definitely need an alarm system in it,
Yeah,
because we got one at the school we didn't have, and you can't keep nothing.
but I mean, that's what, ever since this began, that's what this property was supposed to be used for.
True.
True.
That is true. I was here when we discussed that we wanted to turn it into a field house if we ever gained access to that property.
But we also don't want to need to get the cart in front of the horse, do all this stuff, and then you say, you know, I don't know, what's the code on as far as, I mean, can we put kids in it? Is that the
Steve,
issue?
Daniel's not here standing here.
We just have to look at the code and see, I mean, what they're actually wanting to do.
If you need to look at the code, why don't you just table it for a month and stop on the code on it? On the code and make sure we can for kids.
We need to make sure everything's, you know, as hard, and then, I don't have any problem with whatever y'all
We
talk
know, we
about
just told
today.
them, we just,
You know,
if
have
we
to-
ever order a house, it's ready to be used for.
We had our eyes on it for years.
Yeah. Well, Reed was here, Reed too. Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying, if it comes to a point to where you can't have kids in and you need storage, we can do that. And get storage plus parking, we would get both. What we need.
Why are they wanting to put kids in there?
Just for team meetings, before the game, or,
Where do you have your team meetings now?
On the sideline,
In the field.
right on the field.
Well, if it's an issue that the children can't be in the building, then why can't you continue to have the meetings on the sidelines and just use that for storage of equipment?
We could do that, but the whole issue with just having the kids on the sideline, you can't actually just sit and meet with your team. You can't make adjustments right there on the sideline with, it's football. When you're playing football, the other team's straight directly across from you, and you can't make adjustments to show the team the adjustments you're making right then. 'Cause then you're not making adjustments.
Because they're listening to you.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting there listening to you. When we could walk the kids up there, it's coaches got to make changes, then we've got boards that we can draw out how we want everything. We can make our changes. We can do what we need.
The first time that I've heard about it is tonight about it being a field house. Bought to be a field house for y'all.
Well, this was 7 years ago, Mike.
Hot Rod's the same way, it wasn't mentioned in the workshop or anything until tonight.
Yeah. All the original talks was, I believe, 7 years ago.
At
I
workshop?
don't,
We discussed it at workshop. We discussed it during
not
workshop.
being a field house, not, it wasn't bought with the ideal of being a house. You all said that it was bought to be a field house for football.
It was bought, but didn't use it for it, they didn't want to use it for it.
True, then,
Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, that was discussed, I don't know, what, a couple of years back.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
We actually had our eye on it.
Right.
Johnny and I talked about it a long, long time ago.
Right.
We wanted it because it bordered the field, number one. But I'm sure we threw around lots of different ideas for it.
It never was voted on to be a field house, but that was the general consensus of everybody that was on the council at that time.
That if we acquired the property, that we would let them use it as a field house.
Right.
Mayor, I can make this recommendation. I recommend that, since we don't know exactly what the codes are, on how many people you can put in there, and all of that, we recommend that you table it for a month until we have time to research the codes and revisit it in the next meeting, and see what the codes say, and make sure that we're doing what's legal and right on the front end.
How many kids would you say being at one time, Josh, was guessing? 15 or 20 kids maybe?
Yeah, average 20 kids.
what
How
age
large
group?
is the house?
Fill me in on Age groups,
Our age groups is
Yeah,
5 to
those
7,
footage.
8, 9, 10, and 11s.
5 sevens.
8, 9.
How many's on the 5 sevens? That's grass cutters.
I coached 5 and 7-year-olds. I had 22 kids on my team this year.
I coached the 8, 9-year-olds, and I had 18 kids. And
Option as far as taking kids across the road, I'm not taking 22 5 and 6-year-olds across any road.
It's a mess over there, you know, over at night.
No,
It's hard enough to keep their attention on the football field.
If you only get 6 minutes, you've not got long to take them anywhere, as far as that. That's not really an option.
You can add on to it, you know, you can take a couple of guys, make your head away, take your face down.
I must make a motion, we table it for a month, get our heads together on it.
Bill made a motion, table for a month, to have a second.
I'll second it.
Call Rose now.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Carries. All right, thank you, Josh. All right, is there anything else that you got anything?
Oh, yes, Mayor, actually I do. We'll be, it's coming up for spring, we'll be having the annual Easter egg hunt. Easter is April 1st this year, so we would like to shoot for March 24th unless there's any objections from council. Typically what we do is we set it for the Saturday before in case we have, before Easter weekend, in case it rains, we have the additional Saturday for a rain date. That's why we do it in the past, so we'd like to set it for,
It's a Saturday, you,
yeah, for Saturday, March 24th, 11 a.m. Also, our spring cleanup will be coming up. We do it the last week of April, which will be the 23rd to the 27th.
I'm sorry, you said the Easter egg hunt to be the 24th, the week before?
March, yes, ma'am. March 24th.
Well, that's 2 weeks before. April 1st is Easter, is it not?
24 and 7, make one.
Let's see.
Isn't Easter on the 1st this year?
Yes, ma'am. That's the Saturday. The 31st will be the day directly before Easter. Will be the Saturday before Easter. We typically set it one Saturday out from Easter weekend in case it rains, so we have that additional Saturday to fall back on for a rain day. That's what we've set it in the past.
Okay.
and they're close to you, know, this, you got a TML meeting in Nashville on March what?
It is 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Sunday, okay, so you're there Easter egg hunt, okay.
No, we're not.
All right. Do you have anything else?
Last week of April, spring cleanup, 23rd to the 27th.
And when you spring cleanup, is that cleaning up downtown?
That's when we clean the streets. There's some things I was gonna talk to Jim about adding to it this year, about, I noticed that, and I'm sure Jim's noticed this, because I think they've already been working on some of it, but we've got some ditches that are in bad shape, they need to be pulled, and some stuff out in the city that needs to be done, not just all in the downtown area. So we're gonna expand it a little bit this year.
Is that when we designate neighborhood cleanup?
Same thing.
Same time?
Same time.
Okay.
I think maybe I can see Walt down to recycle, we can get a 40-yard roll out, that's in the front also, or it can rain.
Yeah, it's been a pretty big success now. Some people in the community are actually, they're starting to get involved and helping what they did last year, and this will be our third one. So they really have been, the community's really started getting involved and helping, which is a really good thing. So we definitely don't want to let it die. One last thing. Just want to get some input from you all. The stuff we have that is junk. We've got water fountains that are missing parts. We've got pieces of pipe. We've got pieces of scrap metal where we've used it on other stuff. Is it okay to go ahead and sell that for scrap? Does anybody have a problem with going ahead and selling stuff that is metal junk for scrap, because we can't surplus it and sell it in the surplus because it's tore up or just pieces or, so do y'all.
If it's something you think we could use down the line,
No, I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about, we went in,
It's the last
down there at East Follett, looked in that basement. There's got to be some stuff taken out of there. And I know there's water fountains laying there that you can see that part of the, part of the guts are pulled out of, that can't be fixed. There's stuff like that. Pieces of pipe where they've been taken off, and just, thrown in there. So.
Does that, all that stuff come out of the old school buildings?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that old school building. But I would think, if we find something that's just junk somewhere else, like to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
So we can't use.
You scrap a lot of stuff, don't you, Jim, down there? Did you scrap a lot of stuff, Jim?
We dropped some. I had a cleanup here a while back, some of them scrap. That was strictly scrap, Old, for instance, wire brushes off the street sweeper, they were worn out.
And it's stuff like that I'm talking about, stuff that can't be reused.
Yeah.
Or surplus and sold.
Everybody knows, once you scrap it out and sell it, that money comes back to your general fund, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the check came back in over here.
That goes to city surplus property.
All right. No.
So I just wanted to be sure everybody was okay with it before we did it.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, are we good on the lights out the schools?
If they put up the west end today, they didn't get time to put up the east end, they're gonna work on it tomorrow with schools out, so it'll be all right
So
tomorrow.
we're good, right?
Absolutely.
I apologize, I didn't know everybody was gonna be on that 4-lane working today,
No, that's good. It all worked out.
Hey, ain't nothing we can't handle. Preach it, what? Okay.
I would like to mention to Chief Rail, the other night I was coming home from my daughter's house, and there was a bag of garbage in the road, and I have no idea who the officer was or who was working, but they did turn the lights on and make a circle back around, stopped the car, got out, and moved that bag of garbage over out of the way, because it was getting ready to get scattered everywhere by vehicles hitting it. They couldn't dodge it.
They had to.
One of your officers did that, and which one I didn't. I guess all of them back there will take credit for it.
Tell them, Bill.
Yeah.
He had to do that because he looked at a hot rod truck.
Mr. Archer, I consider all of them fantastic employees. They do a great job, real good officers, and I appreciate the comment there. Lets me know that you're doing things.
That's the one thing I want to stress to all of our employees. If you see something out there, go ahead and do it. Don't wait for somebody to have to call it in to the street department or somewhere. I just want to take pride in the city and get the stuff. And that officer did the right thing, turned the lights on and stopped and got it out, moved it over to the side where it could get picked up.
We appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know.
I'm glad somebody sees that besides me every once in a while. That bad gift out of that hot rod truck, I see it come out. All right, let's go on. Under ordinance and resolutions, number 1, ordinance 2018-01, ordinance to abandon an open street located within the Winston Beard edition of the city of La Follette. It's the first and second reading. I've talked to Dwight Crutchfield, and we're good to go with it. It's the first and second reading. What's the council pleasure?
I move for adoption of the ordinance.
Have a motion by Mr. Archer, have a second.
Second.
Have a second by Joe. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. All right. Item number 2, ordinance 2018-02, ordinance adopting the state of Tennessee offensive and the rules for road. First and second reading. Chief, you want to comment on that? Since
It's just 2 new state laws actually that you're looking at that went into effect this year. One of them deals with specifically the lighting issue on vehicles. It depicts that only emergency vehicles can have emergency lights, whether it be blue lights or red lights or whatever. And anybody that has that other than an emergency vehicle is in violation. The second law that you're looking at is a hands-free law, utilizing the hands-free capability inside the school zone. It's against the law currently now to utilize a cell phone if you drive through a school zone. However, if you have hands-free capability inside your vehicle, you can still do so. But you can't be holding the phone and speaking on the phone right through the school zone. That's basically it. State law that's been put into play by the legislature.
That law really needs to be publicized to everybody, because schools up there, people on cell phone go through school zones talking away. But I'm sure that, you know, if we get publicity out there, and I even suggested schools send a little note around that kids take home to the parents, everybody else, put a sign up, says use cell phone in school zones for here.
And we will enforce it, right, Bill?
Absolutely.
All right, what's council pleasure?
Move to approve ordinance 2018-02, Mayor.
I have a motion by Mr. Boyd, have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Thompson, call the vote, ma'am.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 3, resolution 2018-05, a resolution for engineering service for Cannon and Cannon for the amphitheater. What's council's pleasure?
So moved, Mayor.
Have a motion by Mr. Wilson, have a second.
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the roll, Stan.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 4, resolutions 2018-06, amendments to original budget 2017 and 2018 budget. You have a copy of that in your packet. That property up here at Tank Spring, that's part of it, right, Jimmy?
Yes, sir.
And the defibrillator, was he
Yes,
on?
sir.
Okay, on this defibrillator, I talked to Sean Malone in the fire department, and it'd be placed up here in the administrative offices, and he would teach each one of us how to use it, in case somebody has to have it up here in the front. Okay? All right. You can try it on me. I got to tell you. All right, what's council's pleasure?
Move to approve, Mayor, ordinance 2018-06.
Have a motion by Joe, have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Wilson, call the roll, Stanley.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 5, 2018-07, resolution declaring the 1985 Kenwood Forest Club surplus property and a donation to the White Oak Volunteer Fire Department. What's council's pleasure?
So moved, Mayor.
Have a motion by Mr. Wilson, have a second.
Accept the motion, stipulate that 1 year.
Yes. Yeah, that's part of it. And make that comment. You second, Joe?
Second.
Call the roll, Stanley.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Packard, you have a possession of one of our old fire truck, White Oak Fire Department, and it cannot be sold for 1 year.
Yeah, I talked to the board of directors, I told the chairman, a lot of fire departments, that was it, and they was agreeing to it.
All right, Jim. Okay, under administration, approval of converting the old brush dump at Ivydale to a foreign range. Jimmy, you want to comment? This is the old brush dump up there. You want to
Yeah,
comment?
Mayor, I'd like to approve it to start the process. There'll be, we'll have to go through the process of doing it. We'd like the approval to start the process of turning an old brush dump into a fire range.
Okay, this foreign range, will it just be
It'll
used?
be used, will be for law enforcement purposes. It won't be, I'm sure the chief wouldn't have a problem if Carroll, Jacksboro County, or Jelco wants to use it, but it would only be for law enforcement. It will be open to the public.
Okay, but it would be at Bill's discretion, right? Right, Bill?
He is.
Okay. All right, what's the council's pleasure?
I make a motion we approve it.
Have a motion by Ann, have a second.
Second.
Second by Joe, call the roll, Stan.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Motion carries. Item number 2, approve the purchase of defibrillator for the city hall. We discussed at the workshop. What's council's pleasure?
Yes, we did it when we did the budget amendments.
We did, but then you went to vote on it.
Make the motion, Mayor.
Have a motion by Mr. Wilson, have a second.
I second it.
So, Ms. Thompson, call the roll, Stan.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. I told you, Bill, Terry knows where the money's hid at. Okay, item number three, approval of the Follett alumni to erect a Vietnam War Memorial on the old West Follett Community Center property. What's council's pleasure?
Move approve.
Have a motion by Joe, to have a second.
Second.
Second by Bill, call the roll, Sam.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 4, approve the Lions Club Carnival for May 21st through 26th, 2018. We discussed it in the workshop. What's council's pleasure?
Move approve, Mayor.
Have a motion by Joe, to have a second.
Second.
Second
I
by Bill.
have a second, as long as it is made clear that the carnival does pay the fee.
Yes, we agreed to that. It's just like it was before, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, call the roll, Sam.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 5, declaring the overweight equipment surplus storage in the Follett Fire Department. It was given to us, and I think the fire department's used part of it, and the rest of us just need to get rid of it right here.
Yeah.
What's council's pleasure?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion by Ann, have a second.
Second.
Second by Bill, call the roll.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, Jimmy, on this number 6,
Yes.
you'll let Karen and Joanne speak.
Yes.
Karen, go ahead.
Okay. Karen has to get up first. May I bring you some packets?
Yeah, we have some packets for you that we'd like to bring an update to the council as far as what Postmark La Follette is doing in the building that you're letting us utilize. And so Joanne's going to bring some packets to look at. Some of the things that we've done over the past year on behalf of Postmark La Follette and utilize the building was we were able to obtain a $50,000 grant through the asset enhancement grant that was awarded to the city of La Follette to repair the building. Just to start with some things that we've done to utilize functioning of that building. So that was one of the things we're also working on. We have several grants currently in the works that we have obtained to have some adult and youth art classes, play. We're working on doing a pony garden show from the Union Post Office, as well as operating, a youth camp theater camp that we got a grant from CNSY 12. And all these were done with the fact that, these grants bring economic development to the community. They're also used as to renovate that building. We've applied for the past 2 years 2 grants from Art Place America that were a little over $300,000. Unfortunately, we didn't get the grant, but we continue to work with people. Tennessee Arts Commission is very supportive. Kenny Anker was down here, last midsummer to see what we were doing with the building, and pleasure that it brings to the community. So we really like the council, especially those that weren't here when this whole thing started, to take a look at some of the things that we've done and the utilization of that building and what it can mean to the community as a whole. Joanne?
Well, we'd just like to thank the council, first of all, for all that you've done for the community with the arts program. And we have the 4 pillars that we really incorporate in all of our programs. Economic development, because creative industry is one of the best self-sustaining industries that an area can bring to their town or their county. It can't be exported, it can't be downsized, it can't be moved. Our talent stays here and it functions here. And it's tied into the tourism industry, which of course Campbell County brings us between $5 and $6 million a year. And most of our tourism is adventure tourism. It takes place in the mountains and out on the lake. But it's also known through studies and reviews that if you introduce the creative industry, like festivals, your ATV festival is a perfect example of having an adventure tourism up in the mountains with the riding, and then having a festival downtown. Your cash registers in downtown La Follette probably wouldn't be ringing very much if the festival was just held up in the mountain, but you bring it in with the arts, your music, and other aspects of the creative industry. We have a lot of talent here in our folks. Music, when we came back from California, when I moved back here from California, it just amazed me at how many people could play and sing, write music, and just had these wonderful talents. And the visual artists are here too. We have an internationally famous artist here who does one of our classes for us. We have a theater producer or director here who's been in over 900 plays. And she's over there right now teaching theater arts. And we're going to be showing or having the stage play produced in March. We have locals who are acting in it. We had a local who wrote it, and it's a fabulous play, stage play. So we have the talents here. We just have to have a central location where we can bring everybody together and connect the dots. And when you have creative industry like Knoxville's downtown area was revitalized just by the artists. They moved in, began to function downtown, drawing audiences and patrons down to the area. And Knoxville will tell you that's how they revitalized their downtown. And a couple of years ago, I think Ann will remember, when the enhancement plan was put out, and we had that beautiful book about what we can do. That was one of the primary objectives in the book, was to revitalize downtown through preserving our historic assets, which is, of course, the old post office, or one of them, and also to have events and things downtown. And over the last 17 years, I've been involved in several activities downtown, like the All Alumni reunions. I worked on it from California and kept flying in, meeting with folks here. We got everybody together and had a wonderful first reunion here. And I think it brings people back, and I think it's even caused people to build on that, like Marvin, for instance, probably got an idea about the memorial, I would guess, from that, because we talked about it early on. I think it's marvelous that your amphitheater is another wonderful example of what can be done to draw audiences downtown. But anyway, when we first came on board, we talked with the city, and we said that we will help you revitalize and maintain the building as best we can while we work inside. But it's like building a house and living in it at the same time. Sometimes you just have to do without something here and there to get something else done. And all that the city can do to help us, we really would appreciate, because we've had a lot of successes. One of the items that's contained in the package is an AEP5 study. This is a national study that we participated in at the request of the Tennessee Arts Commission. So we're trying to get an idea across the state about how effective and beneficial the arts programs are to the economies. And if you look at ours, it really is outstanding.
Right. We do, for every $4 that's spent by a nonprofit.
$1 spent.
Pardon me, yes, I'm reverse that. For every
Sorry.
$1 spent by a nonprofit in Campbell County, $4 is generated. The state is less than that. Several other counties didn't come close to it. This summer, we also we're hopefully waiting to hear for a grant that we are looking to receive to host and work with WLAI and Freeman Waddell to put on a Postmark Jamboree. For once a month, we will have a live audience, and participation from the radio broadcast, that will be live simulcast, and hope to have an audience with that, and be able to actually pay musicians to perform, and also have a concert by Maggie Longmire probably in the fall. So some of the programs, most of the programs we work on are with grants, and we actually, they're limited as far as what we can do. You all know, working with a grant, it's very specific to how the money is spent and what it's spent for. Joanne and I, as co-founders and co-chairs of Postmark Follett, do not receive one penny, or neither do most of our people that work and volunteer. The state of Tennessee has a rate of $24.14 for a volunteer hour, and our last program.
Rich.
Yes, yes. Because Joanne and I have already put over, well over $2,800 into this program. And those are the ones that we've counted for events that we actually have to document. So that's just Joanne and I. It doesn't even include the rest of the people that are volunteering with us. So all the monies that we actually get go to, are spent, every penny is spent for producing something that the community can enjoy and participate in.
It is in a great location.
Yes, the location, you know what, they say you can be there and they will come, but you know, you have to have something worth them coming to. And I believe that, you know, with the post office, it also holds so much memory, so many memories for so many people, that, you know, there's always something going on. And our goal is to continue to keep, you know, get something going all the time. But they're just Joanne and I, and our volunteers
And our
come.
board.
Right, and our board. Our board is made up of a retired lawyer, a CPA, a
Business
banker,
owner.
a business owner. So our board is made up of people that really certainly know how to operate a business. Unfortunately, just not enough money to operate a business the way it is.
It brings a lot of memories to me in Hot Rod. We used to be still presses back there when we was kids. We know where people take their mail, we know where to hit them at the rod.
Yeah.
Remember, Dwayne, it was only a nickel back then. How much was your lot? With a nickel? What was it? We started selling grits stuff.
Right.
That's the income.
We'd be happy to meet with any one or in the group of council members who would like more
That's a page
information.
two, it's not.
Your package has the results of the AEP5 study. As I said, it was a national study, and it was encouraged, we were called by TAC to do the study. I think we'll find it also really remarkable. We outstripped Knoxville, actually the whole state.
Right, the whole state. We did a wonderful, you know, the report was very favorable to King County. So if anybody has any questions, we can have an answer.
So we got any?
I'd just like your continued support.
Thank you.
You also gotten a grant to redo the restrooms or something?
Oh, yes, Rotary gave us a grant for $1,000 to repair the back bathroom. Rehab it, you know, to make it more usable. But in order for that to be done, there had to be some repair work from the bathroom upstairs, which the city did do.
Three more comments. Jimmy, you got anything?
We just got a lot of issues with that building.
Well, we knew it when we bought it, and Karen and...
You all knew it when you bought it?
Oh, yeah?
No, we didn't know that, I think, we knew the building had some
Leaks and stuff.
leaks and stuff, but we didn't know. So we received a Brownsville grant to do a phase one on it, and that's when it came up.
I wasn't
Issues.
here.
The building was built in 1934 by the WPA, and you couldn't replace the building for today due to the structure, the way it's built. It's very solid.
Oh, it is.
And it's, you know,
It's a shelter.
right, it's a great shelter for you all to live in the city. And to the post office if anything big comes along.
Supposed to be pay taxes.
But, pardon me?
You'd think the federal government on that post office would have no issue. It's a problem of pain or asbestos or whatever over years, you know what I'm saying? They were
Well,
quick
but
to
it's
call.
been, the asbestos has been contained.
Right, the asbestos
And as
is,
long as it's not disturbed, with a broken pipe or something, say on a super frosty night or something, it should be fine.
We'll get that bathroom just as soon as we get all these
Right.
eyes started.
but there are unfortunate, like I said, everybody knows it was an old building, come other issues.
I think we need to.
And we're looking at other grants for repairs.
What?
Speaking of old buildings,
Is it
we
alive?
got one of them too, you know? This ain't a mouse trap, that's a rat trap.
We're hoping it catches his foot.
It wasn't my footsteps.
We get it high enough, we get him out.
You gotta take up care of Joanne.
Yeah, Mayor, I think before we enter into any type of agreement, you know, if you start renting a building, there are certain things that come through the city legally, and then there are certain things that come with them legally. Let's get our problems over there taken care of before we decide, this is what we're gonna do. And, you know, everything should be taken care of around the 1st of March.
I
So
got-
if we get it taken care of, the March meeting, if not, the April meeting.
But you're talking about having Daniel do the work on this, is that correct? One of the things that I have a question about with that, with Daniel getting certified for that, is that I have an issue with the fact that Daniel has never been certified as codes director in the 21 months that he's been here. And that was part of the things that, when he was hired in that position, he was supposed to be given a year to be certified as the codes director.
I checked the minutes, ma'am, that's not him. I
Well,
actually went back and read them.
Actually, the minutes were done by Donna at that time, and Donna didn't do correct minutes because she wasn't used to it, but,
Okay, it's not in the, that's not in the minutes.
well,
You had asked me to check the minutes, and I went back and checked the minutes and read them, and that's not in the minutes.
well, it's not good for the city of La Follette to have a codes enforcer that's not certified as a codes director.
And I know in the last 9 months, I know there has not been a class.
But he's been here
There
for
is not
21
a class
months.
set for this year yet. There's a possibility of a class by June of this year. Now, in the months that, when they've not had these classes, he has kept check on them with the National Codes Academy. Don't think, as far as I know, I can't find anywhere else that would give the certification classes.
So in 21 months, there's not been a class that he could have taken.
No, I don't know. I know in the last 9 months, there's not been a class that he could have taken. I don't know about 21 months. I know that in the last 9 months, I do know that he has taken classes to be certified on foundations, on dealing with existing buildings, on fire safety, on sprinkler systems, on firewalls, and an animal control certification. So he's taken those classes in the last, since he got moved into that position. But everything has changed at the Codes Academy. There was it a lady that was over it, Stan?
Yeah.
There's now a Mr. Snow over it, and there has not been a class set for this year yet either. They had one class set, which was International Buildings Codes Certification, which Daniel signed up for, and they canceled that class. So he signed up to take a class that would have been his certification, and they canceled the class, and in the last several months, there's not been any more classes scheduled, but he has taken these classes during the time that they've not offered the other classes.
Well, I just think it's unusual for the city of La Follette to have a codes director that is being paid to be a codes director and he's not certified.
Have we had one in the past that was?
Stan, you certified when you said, how long before you were certified?
We fell under the old rule, me and Gary and Wayne did, and so much has changed down there because I know Daniel was telling me the other day, you have to do several different classes before you can even get the certification.
There's an added class you have to take down to a residential class. that
There
you don't-
is,
that you
and
didn't
see,
have to
we
take
fell under
before.
the old rule, and at that time, it was a lot different down there than it is now. I mean, that's even with the firemen, Jim Beck can verify that, I mean, it's a lot different.
Most of it grandfathered in.
Yes.
Done with it.
Well, I just know that that Stan knew that he had to have his certification to be the clerk within a year, and he got his within a year. So he knew that that was, in the minutes, should have been in the minutes. And like I say, Donna did the minutes at that time because when Joy
Well, I spoke to
quit.
Stan about that also and asked him, and what Stan related to me was the only thing that they were told in the meeting is if you can't do your job, you can't go back to your old job. Was what
Within a
was
year.
related to him in the meeting.
Well, I got my certification, this ain't nothing to do with me.
I'll tell you what, Jim, I'm a class.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's not anywhere else besides Codes Academy you can get it, is there?
That is correct.
They don't have one set. They said they may have one by June of this year, but they don't have it set, and they're not for sure if they'll have it by this upcoming June. So, in the meantime, he's taking some of these other classes. So as soon as they have one set, he is on the waiting list.
All right, good. You keep up with Make sure he's there.
Okay. Yeah,
Make sure he
absolutely.
passes it. Make sure he passes it. All right. Okay, I'm supposed to have a motion put up on the post office off to the next month, so March.
Next meeting.
Okay.
Question for, when was these ladies play scheduled for?
Karen, when is it, Karen?
The play is set for March 16, 17, 18, and 23, 24, and 25.
March. 16, 17.
Let me go ahead and do the play, and we'll just deal with the,
They got time to release.
yes, Reed already has a call.
The lead paint.
Okay.
The dust.
Okay, you understand it, right, Karen?
Pardon
Do
me?
you have to sign off on it?
Yes,
Okay.
we have the
Okay.
papers.
All right.
Is that on the main floor or is it in the basement?
It's in the back bathroom on the main floor. The one that's,
And it
it's
just
all
has
sealed off.
It's sealed off the way that the tech from Hewlett Granite Company came out to look at the abatement. It was sealed off the way that he said it had to be sealed off to not contaminate the rest of the building.
So it can be used and no problem.
Okay. Do I have a motion, please, Doc?
So,
Have a motion, majority, have a second.
I second.
We'll set colors now.
Mr. Archer,
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger,
yes.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Okay, under Park and Recreation Department, item number 1, accepting of the recreation bid for the Walker Trail research and expansion. You have a copy of your packet. There was only one bid on it. It was Bosher's paving, and it was for $32,480. What's council's pleasure?
Does that come out of Johnny's budget?
It's a grant.
It's a grant.
So moved.
Have a motion by Hot Rod, have a second.
Second.
Have a second, Joe Colorado, stand.
Mr. Archer,
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, item number 2, promoting Rick Collinsworth to maintenance crew leader at a salary of $32,292.69, effective February the 17th, 2018. And Rick is here in the audience, it already is.
I move for the promotion.
I have a motion by Bill to have a second.
Second it.
And second by Ann Colorado.
Mr. Archer,
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Rick. Thank you. Okay, under the police department, promoting Matthew Forsythe, full-time level 2 patrol officer. He's currently part-time at a salary of $29,580, effective February the 17th, 2018. And Matt's in the audience. He's even shaved, clean shaven. It was good. What's council clear, Matt?
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Joe, have a second.
Second.
Bill, I'll vote then.
Mr. Archer. Yes. Mr. Bollinger,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Motion carries. Matt, glad to have you back. You're not only a good police officer, you're just a good person. Good person. Good to have you back. Okay, let's see, do you want to vote on some of that surplus crap?
Oh, yeah, Reed recommended that we went ahead and voted on that. Do we need to do it now or this next meeting, even one? I mean, it's not anything.
Let's go ahead and get it done, be done with.
Suspend the rules.
Okay, I have a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Second, call roll, Sam.
Mr. Archer,
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, we talked about scrapping out some metal. I need a motion to go ahead and vote to scrap it out.
I make a motion to scrap it out.
Have a motion by Andy, have a second. Hot rod, second.
Mr. Archer,
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Any more comments? Any more favor? Read your hand. Being no further, business means adjourned.
Call to order the beer board. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer,
Here.
Mayor Stanfield,
Here.
Ms. Thompson,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Chairman Bollinger.
Here. With there being no permits today, let's do the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.